Hello out there, grown black folks talk. And like I said, we're staying in the vertical because this is now on YouTube and TikTok. On YouTube, I got a comment on my last video, and Sir, Mr. Dixiecrat Democrat, or Madam, Sir or Madam, it didn't post because YouTube filters plus you can see it, but no one else can because YouTube filters plus mine using disparaging language. The combination has screened it out. However, I saw it. And I tend to respond to things that are worthy of response because there are a lot of people that think like you and know a certain number of talking points about Democrat history. But I'm going to need you to get caught up to Monday. You do know that the last of the Dixiecrat heirs is no longer in the race for president, right? You did watch the news yesterday. So that takes care of you talking to me about Democrats before the Southern strategy. And see, if you read about this, you would already know when the Democrats and Republicans switch positions. But you just have your talking points. You haven't really studied history that much. I already know that. And everybody who thinks like you needs to get a clue. You need to get caught up and read up. Get caught up from yesterday. That's number one. Number two, even Joe Biden apologize for some of the foolery that he has done. As early as 2011, you're 13 years behind. Get caught up. Second of all, I don't know if you know this or not, but the authors of Project 2025 are not Democrats. They are Republicans. Let me explain why this is a problem for you. And when I say it is a Republican document, I mean that on multiple levels. And if you had done your historical work, you would not be talking about Democrats who are dust today. Did you know, and you can find this on page 592 or thereabouts, that the authors of Project 2025 would like to turn it to from a 40-hour work week in which you're guaranteed to be paid full-time to a 160-hour work month. Do you know what this means? I'm a business owner. I'm a publisher. That means I can work you if you were unfortunate enough to be working for me. Not that you would be hired because your grasp of history isn't sufficient, but let's just say someone you love would be employed by me. I can work you as much as I want in the front part of that month. All I got to do is make sure at the end to cut your hours to make sure you get 159 weeks, meaning I can work you half to death, 159 hours per month instead of 40 hours per week. That protects you. Because if 40 hours per week, I have to pay benefits and Social Security and all those things based on a full-time schedule. I can work you like a dog most of the month under Project 2025, and all I have to do is make sure you only get 159 hours a month and treat you like a part-time worker. No benefits, no nothing. That's on page Project, that's 592. And you talking about Democrats from 1964. You also can keep reading in Project 2025 and find out about something that's going to happen at your bank. So you worked hard all week or all month. You put your money in the bank. Okay, well today, if something goes wrong at that bank, then what's going to end up happening is you will be able to have the federal government at least compensate you. The federal government, because of something called FDIC insurance, has to backstop everyone's deposits, meaning that up to $250,000, if your bank breaks and has to seize those deposits to pay its equally rich creditors off, the federal government will make you whole up to $250,000 per account. Project 2025 would like to both deregulate the banks further and then not do FDIC insurance. So if your bank breaks and seizes your money to pay its rich creditors, nobody's coming to give you anything. Meaning the banks, you're going to basically become a black person in the age of the Freedmen Bank, where black people put their money in that bank, and the Confederates, those same bitter Democrats you're talking about, went right in there and took that money out, and nobody did anything. You are about to go back to the status of a freedman. But you want to talk about Democrats in 1864. That's about to happen to you next year. And it's not Democrats that are going to be doing it to you next year. Because let me help you understand something. Since we're going to be reading all this history all the way back, go read the United States Constitution and the first 10 amendments and understand in the republic that the founders of this country set up only landed white men. The same men who had charge of everything during the feudal period in Europe, for whom a lot of you, if you are a white person, your ancestors probably came over here to get away from to have a chance at life. Only they had a right to be represented. They set it up on the Roman representative model, the Roman Republic, where only Romans and only Roman men had rights. And only patricians among them. Because, see, everybody else was either a freedman. You might have been born free, but that was rare. Most people were freedmen, slaves, and barbarians. You, sir or madam, are about to be reclassified just like that under Project 2025. But you want to talk about what's going on in 1864. I'm going to need you to read up and get caught up and keep your foolery off my page. That's what I'm going to need you to do. And for those of you on TikTok, I know I'm just starting over there. I'm going to need y'all to just don't give me these old Democrat talking points. You're going to read back, go read 1789. I need you to get caught up all the way from 1789 to yesterday and get caught up. Do not bring me any more stale, tired Democrat talking points. You up here talking about Democrats who were slave owners who were dust, and you have no idea what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance already have their marching orders from the Heritage Foundation are about to do to your money and your bank and your working life. We haven't even started talking about what's going to happen to your kids if you're not rich enough to put them in public school. And you won't be if your bank can take your money and you can't work more than 159 hours a month. But you over here talking about Democrats in 1864. I'm going to need everybody to read up and get caught up. And don't bring any foolery over here. I'm not in the mood. Not today. I have a nice long walk ahead of me. For those of you that are part of my On the Climb series, y'all know I do some things from out there. We're not trying to do the foolery. Democrats are not the author of Project 2025. Period. All else is irrelevant. Now, I'll do another video sometimes about why I am an independent and why I despise Democrats as much as I despise Republicans. So you don't have to convince me on that one. But here's what I also understand. White supremacy is undemocratic by nature because the supreme people in a meritocracy system, just by virtue of their whiteness, think they can make decisions for every other human being. So I don't expect Democrats or Republicans to do right on the regular. But right now, it's like the difference between Chancellor Stresemann and Chancellor Hitler as candidate. It's like the difference between British imperialist Neville Chamberlain and British imperialist Winston Churchill. Now, I presume, since you're going to talk about Democrats back to 1864, that I probably don't need to explain that. Neither of them are what you call human-loving choices. Both of them were involved in the persecution of everybody not them that they could reach in the world. But I hope that you can tell that there's some difference because I have no idea what side you're really on. But right now, you up here going hard for the party that is for reverting you back to a freedman, slave, or barbarian. And that would be the Republicans trying to revert it back to the original republic. Where you, unless you are a landed white male with property, have no right to govern yourself. 1789. So you're going to read all this history? Go read that. Go read the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and find yourself in it if you were not one of those men. And if you were, you wouldn't be bothered to be in my comments talking to me about it. You would be doing the things that men and women, there are some women like that now, but even they wouldn't have rights then. Women didn't even get the right to vote till 1920. But you're talking about Democrats in 1864. So if you're a woman, you are twice a fool. Get caught up. The Democrats are no longer in the race. That was yesterday. Get caught up. Keep your foolery off my page. When I get back to the house, I'm going to make you a permanent listener anyway on YouTube. We're not about to do none of this. Get caught up. And by the way, if you made it this far, I'm not always mad. Sometimes I'm just rhetorically memorable. I actually do want the best for you. But you do need to get caught up and read up and get on the right side of these things. You don't have to like Republicans, but you don't want Project 2025 either. So I'm going to tell everybody what I tell everybody. If I'm going to tell you personally, your nonsense is not going to be on my page. But also, you still have time to read up. Check out page 592 and get your life together. Bye.